Hello everyone, I'm Manas Maheshwari, Group Product Manager for Microsoft Dataverse. Enterprises now run their businesses on apps and agents which coexist in their organization. In this video, we will learn how Dataverse enables business solutions to achieve hyperscale with the data management and AI capabilities. Let's step back and help simplify how work actually flows across an organization. Everything comes together through three components. Apps provide the structured environment where work happens. They define the data, rules, and decisions teams rely on. Especially in processes that require human oversight, apps are where people manage workflows, review outcomes, handle exceptions, and apply judgment where it matters the most. Agents and workflows handle execution. Agents complete tasks by reasoning over context, making decisions, and carrying out multi-step actions across systems. Workflows run alongside them to ensure predictable steps are done reliably, consistently in the background. Third, Copilot is the natural language interface people use every day. It lets them ask questions, take actions, and stay in the flow of work without jumping between tools and systems. All of this runs on a managed, governed, and secured foundation. Dataverse provides a shared data model and business logic, while Entra enforces like identity, access, and policy controls across users, apps, agents, and automation. This allows teams to move quickly while IT maintains visibility and control. In short, tasks are completed by agents and workflows are managed by people with the apps. Today, we are going to show you the evolution of industry working with the line of business data. First, most of you are already familiar with this, the established pattern, apps first. Customers continue building and enriching their apps in a steady pace. The pattern here is proven and quite mature. Dataverse is the common operational data store and provide extensibility for their applications. The emerging trend that is accelerating especially in the last 2 years and more so in the past year is that we are seeing existing customers that are apps based are now anticipating growth in their agentic workloads. This accelerating pattern is where AI reasoning over business data in Dataverse comes in. Dataverse is the enterprise-grade, low-code data platform that automatically integrates your data across the Microsoft Cloud, allowing enterprises to build data-driven systems, unleashing the potential of what data across all their employees, while keeping that data safe, secure, and compliant. Dataverse solves these challenges by focusing on three core pillars. First, enabling any developer to be more efficient and easily build data-driven applications, automations, and analysis, leveraging the power of Power Platform. Speed is of the essence, and so is the scale. So Dataverse provides a turnkey hyperscale solution that removes the work required to scaffold infrastructure so developers can spend more time on the business problems, empowering anyone to drive better outcomes through the data by bringing the data and the business logic to where they are working. Providing these solutions in context to the user's flow, removing unnecessary context switching and toil, elevating everyone's data literacy. Third, building with enterprise IT needs in mind when it comes to security, compliance, and governance. All the systems, tools, and needs are baked into the platform so that enterprises can feel confident in empowering developers and users to use the data the way they need to solve their problems. With the changing demand of the enterprises on moving to AI-first world, Dataverse supports agents created in Copilot Studio or developers using vibe coding to create their apps. This happens with the tooling provided like MCP for agent-to-agent communication or built-in semantic search with indexes and glossary to get better results, or providing GenAI-based tooling like prompt column or vibe coding. Let's understand some of these Dataverse components in depth. Let's start from what makes Dataverse a hyperscale data platform. Dataverse offers a turnkey data platform to operate at scale by using all of these services behind the scenes to support various paradigms needed to have a complete business solution or agent. Right from defining the business logic, driving the intelligence on top of the existing data, either existing in Dataverse or any other platform by integrating into it, help define the lifecycle for your data or app, to meeting the security governance needs, and now also providing AI tools and interoperability. You get a complete package with Dataverse. Now let's look at some of the data management functionalities which help these organizations to manage large data with data archival in order to optimize their cost. Data archival or long-term retention is one of the data management tools that helps enterprises effectively manage their growing data estates while ensuring compliance with the regulatory requirements. By archiving frequently accessed data, LTR optimizes Dataverse storage, usage, and reduces costs. Now, let's look into how you integrate into Microsoft Fabric, helping your organization to develop insights on data. Dataverse is natively integrated with Microsoft Fabric, the industry-leading big data analytics platform. The seamless, zero-copy, real-time integration allows organizations to combine operational and analytical data instantly, without replication or ETL. As your data gets updated in Dataverse, data professionals see the latest data continuously updated in Fabric. With Link to Fabric functionality, which combines operational Dataverse data with Fabric analytics in real time. Fabric copilots uncover trends and insights that teams can immediately act on using Power Apps, Power Automate, or real-time Fabric data agents. Now, let's look at the demo on how to set up the Link to Fabric and generate insights on the data in Fabric. We are in Power Apps experience, and here are the tables or entities in Dataverse. I would like to analyze the data, so I go on the top navigation and click on Analyze and Link to Microsoft Fabric. It asks me a bunch of validations, credentials, which workspace do I want to link into, and so on. I do all of those setup and create the link and set up the connection. Almost in few minutes, the data is copied over to Microsoft Fabric and is available for me to analyze. Let's look at the Fabric experience, and on refreshing, I see all my tables from Dataverse synced. We can also observe the status of the sync back in Power Apps experience. And now you can sync specific tables as well instead of syncing the entire Dataverse, saving you cost and time. Here is the list of tables which we saw, and we can select which one we want to sync. Let's analyze the data in the Fabric. I want to know all my appointments and what all accounts are inactive. I can just run the queries, generate insights, and make decisions, and as well take actions on them. We can also run Fabric data agents and do a more pointed and personalized query to get more precise insights. Next, we will look into Dataverse Search and MCP. I'll invite Sean to help us dive deeper.
Thanks, Manis. I'm Sean Watson, a product manager on the Dataverse team. Now let's talk about Dataverse Search. Search is the foundation for how Copilot understands and reasons over your business data. Let me walk you through how Microsoft Dataverse Search powers experiences across the entire platform. Here you see the various clients that consume Dataverse Search. In Power Apps, you have Global Search for finding records quickly, and Copilot Chat, which uses Search to answer questions in context. In Microsoft Copilot Studio, Search powers both the knowledge capability, where agents retrieve answers from your data, and as a tool that agents can invoke programmatically. For Microsoft 365, declarative agents can leverage Dataverse as a grounded knowledge source. And for developers, MCP, the Model Context Protocol, exposes search as a tool for any AI agent. Underneath all of this, we spot three search approaches: full text search for keyword matching, structured search for precise filtering on known fields, and unstructured search, which includes semantic and vector capabilities. And the data itself, Dataverse stores everything: relational database records, files and attachments, logs, multi-line text fields. All searchable, all secure, all governed. Now let me show you this in action. Here's a model-driven app with global search enabled. Watch as I type in the search bar. Notice how the results appear instantly across multiple tables, accounts, contacts, and opportunities, all serviced in one unified experience. The search respects your security model. Users only see records they have permission to access. Now here's where intelligence comes in. I'm searching for coffee. Notice fourth coffee appears above third coffee in the results. That's not alphabetical. The ranking is based on signals like recency, how often you interact with a record, and many other factors. In this case, we can see Jason owns this record. Watch what happens when I open third coffee and make an edit. Now I search for coffee again. Third coffee has moved up. It's now ranked above fourth coffee. The system learned my interaction and adjusted the relevance in real time. This isn't static indexing. It's intelligent, personalized ranking that adapts to how you work. And the same infrastructure powers all the AI experiences we'll see next. Now let's talk about how Dataverse becomes knowledge for your agents in Copilot Studio. With Dataverse as a knowledge source, end users can ask natural language questions about enterprise data stored in the platform. They use conversational language to guide the agent, setting context and describing what they need. Your Dynamics 365 and Power Platform operational business data is fully searchable. Critically, this honors your existing permission and business model. Security isn't bypassed, it's enforced. And you can upload files directly in Copilot Studio with full semantic and vector search support. We also support embedded image understanding for PDFs. Support for other file types is coming soon. So if you upload documents with images, diagrams, or charts, the agent can reason over that visual content too. Let's see this knowledge capability in action inside Copilot Studio. I've configured this agent with Dataverse Search as a knowledge source, connected to our product feedback data. I'm asking a question about recent customer feedback. The agent searches across possible sources, in this case our product feedback Dataverse table, to formulate grounded responses. Notice how the response cites a link to view records. This isn't hallucination, it's retrieval augmented generation using your real business data. And again, the user only sees information they're authorized to access. The security model flows through the entire experience. Now let's see how we can teach the agent about your business language. I'll ask, what is the HRR for coffee grinder 2? The agent comes back and says there's no HRR field. It doesn't know what that means because HRR is our internal term. Watch what happens when I add HRR to the glossary. We can find the glossary by navigating to knowledge, and then our Dataverse knowledge source, and then glossary. I define it as the number of positive reviews divided by the total reviews. That's our happy review rate. Now let's ask the same question again. This time, the agent understands, it calculates the ratio and returns the expected response. The glossary lets you encode your business definitions directly into the agent. No prompt engineering, no custom code, just teach your terminology and it reasons correctly. Now let's talk about Dataverse MCP, the Model Context Protocol. Here's the simplest way to think about it. The Dataverse MCP server acts as a bridge between AI assistants and your Dataverse environment. It provides standardized, intelligent access to your business data, tables, records, and business logic, without requiring custom APIs or SDKs. Think of it as making your Dataverse environment AI native. Agents can now talk directly to your business data. What does that unlock? 3 things. First, unified AI to data access. MCP standardizes how large language models interact with Dataverse. Your enterprise data becomes fully extensible and platform agnostic. Copilot Studio, GitHub Copilot, or your custom agents can connect. Second, natural language interface. Users ask questions and get real-time responses. Under the hood, MCP translates these into tool calls, search queries, data lookups, whatever's needed. And third, powerful tooling. Built-in tools to insert or update records, view table schemas, read data, and search across your environment. No custom integration code, no SDK management, just AI talking to your business data, fully governed. Let me show you what this looks like in action. First, let's configure the governance. In the Power Platform Admin Center, I navigate to my environment, then Settings, then Features. Here's where we find Dataverse MCP. I'll make sure it's enabled and go into the advanced settings to enable GitHub Copilot clients specifically. This is how admins control which AI tools can access your Dataverse data. You can also add third-party clients here by creating customer Enter app registrations too. Now in VS Code, I add the Dataverse MCP server to GitHub Copilot. Just the environment URL and the MCP endpoint. That's all that is needed to connect. Let's name our server and add it to the workspace. Let's explore what is available. What tables are in this environment? GitHub Copilot asks to call list tables. I'll allow it, and we get back the available tables. The model discovers the tools automatically, no hints required. Now, a business question. Show me accounts in Seattle. Watch the tool calls. Describe table to understand the schema. Then read query to fetch the data. We get back 3 accounts. Natural language to structured query seamlessly. Let's write data. Create a new account called Northwind Traders in Seattle. The model calls create record, identifies the right table, maps the fields, and creates the record. This is what makes Dataverse MCP powerful. It's not just retrieval. You can create, update, and delete records through natural language. Now let's see the same capability in Copilot Studio. I'm starting with a completely blank agent. No instructions, no knowledge. I'll add Dataverse MCP as a tool. Notice there are both GA and Preview connectors available. I'll use the GA version. Now the same question. Show me accounts in Seattle. Watch the tool chain. List tables, describe table, and read query. Returning 4 accounts, including Northwind Traders that we just created in VS Code. Both clients are operating on the same Dataverse, so changes sync immediately. MCP is client agnostic. Now let's test destructive actions. Delete the Northwind Traders account. The agent asks for confirmation. Yes, please. And it's deleted. Now here's where governance shines. I'll disable the update and delete tools, update record, update table, delete record, and delete table. Let's try again. Show me accounts in Seattle. Now that still works. Read operations are fine. Now delete the Wingtip Toys account. Now this time the agent can't do it, but watch, it doesn't just fail. It explains why and suggests how the user can delete the account through other means. Tool-level permissions are enforceable. You can make agents read-only or limit them to specific operations. Governance is configured on the agent, not buried in the prompt. What we just saw was the same MCP tools powering GitHub Copilot for developers and Copilot Studio for agent builders. Full CRUD operations through natural language. Governance enforced at the platform level, admin control client access, tool-level permissions, explicit approval for destructive actions. This is Dataverse as an AI-native platform. Your business data accessible to any agent, fully governed. Now back to Manas.
Thank you, Sean. Now let's focus on how a low-code developer can leverage GenAI on Dataverse using Power Platform experiences. You can define a business logic as a column using prompts with prompt column. This means that you can apply GenAI against data that you already have in these columns. In this product review table, I have a column called review text, which I would like to use for the prompt column. Let's create a new column, then choose the prompt data type. Click on Add New Prompts to start writing the prompt. You can see an example of a prompt being shown here already. Now, for the purpose of this demo, let me show you the two prompt columns that I have created earlier. This sentiment column is a prompt column. Let's take a look at the prompt definition. This prompt editor allows you to refer to the other Dataverse columns, and you can also test it too. The knowledge is a good debugging tool as to what the prompt is evaluating. Now let's take a look at the redacted PII review text, where we want to obfuscate any sensitive info like brand name or personal information. Again, using prompt editor here. I can refer to other Dataverse tables. Let's see how this prompt column works in action in an app. So I have these columns added, review text and redact PII review text. I'm going to add some PII information on top of it, mentioning the name, the height, and so on. And I'm also adding some sentiments, like I'm not happy. So it detects, it runs it immediately, and it detects sentiment is negative. And you can see the redacted PII review text, which has removed the name of the user. We will turn our attention to Dataverse-powered vibe coding in Power Apps. Even with AI improving every day, no organization is going to turn every business process and applications into fully automated, lights-out systems overnight. Real operations are more complex than that, and they always require people in the loop. What teams need are new kinds of build experiences. Experiences designed for complex solutions where humans and agents work together to design, build, and evolve systems that run at scale. That's where the idea of AI-assisted app building, called vibe coding, comes in. It's not about making development simpler in a superficial way. It's about enabling teams to collaborate more effectively on hard problems. You can work through real business requirements, design robust data models, think through solution architecture that includes workflows and agents, and then build production-grade applications, all with the help of AI. Let's focus on security and compliance, very much needed for an enterprise. And let me bring in Paul Liu, who is an expert from our team on those functionalities. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, my name is Paul Liu, and I'm a Dataverse product manager, and I own Dataverse Security. So let's talk about how Dataverse keeps enterprise data secure and compliant while you scale apps and agents. Dataverse provides data protection across the stack, from identity, authorization, policy, and auditing, so IT can set guardrails without slowing the business. In network security, we ensure only authorized users and apps can access Power Platform environments, reducing risks of infiltration and data leakage. User authentication is secured by Microsoft Entra ID with conditional access. That means we control how, when, and under what conditions user, agents, or devices can reach organization data. For example, requiring multi-factor authentication, device compliance, and trusted location before access is granted. In Continuous Access Evaluation, CAE, beyond initial user sign-in, access is not set and forget. With CAE, user sessions and tokens are continuously re-evaluated. If risk changes, say a password is reset or an admin disabled the account, apps like Dataverse can revoke access near real-time, terminating the session to stop unauthorized use. This reduces the window for misuse if credentials are stolen. In encrypted communication, all traffic between clients and services is encrypted with TLS, protecting data in transit from intercepting or tampering. Resilience against denial of service. Azure DDoS protection helps shield internet-facing endpoints by detecting and mitigating volumetric and protocol attacks at the Azure network edge before the traffic can impact service availability. We also have session timeout governance to further reduce data leaks. For example, share machines. Admins can set environment-level session and inactivity times out in the Power Platform Admin Center so users are signed out after a defined period and must be re-authenticated. In summary, bringing these controls together, conditional access, CAE, TLS, encryption, Azure DDoS, and session timeout, that gives organization layered protection that reduces risk of infiltration, unauthorized access, and data leak while keeping user productivity high. Here, a user is trying to log into Dataverse from an unapproved IP with intra-condition access. User access will be blocked with the conditional access. This is the conditional access policy. Here, we specify the user or team. In this case, we are specifying the user that was just trying to log in. And the condition is based on IP addresses. And this is to specify the IP address of Redmond and the Advanta building. And finally, the access control is to block access if the user is from outside of this approved IP address. Access control provides end-to-end protection from authentication to authorization and data access, enabling least privilege access while still supporting powerful app and automation scenarios. For access controls, Dataverse evaluates the user or agent identity and applies security role, business unit and teams, and optional column-level security. That means the same dataset can safely serve different personas, from makers, agents, and end users, each seeing only what they're authorized to see. This persona are assigned with an appropriate security role and can only access the records that they are authorized for. Here you can see how user data access is managed at the environment level. First, only licensed Entra user can be added and assigned with a security role. Additional record level security can be set at the business unit level. The security role grants record permissions at create, read, write, delete level with either user level or organization-wide access level. On threat detection and monitoring, we want to mitigate potential security incidents before they escalate into significant breaches. Now, let's walk through how Dataverse and broader Power Platform ecosystem help your organization detect and respond to threats in real time. Customers integrate Dataverse telemetry and audit with Microsoft security stacks. First, Dataverse integrates directly with Microsoft Sentinel, giving you real-time identity-based threat detection. That means suspicious behavior and potential compromise signals are surfaced immediately so your security teams can investigate before damage occurs. Second, Dataverse continuously monitors for suspicious or malicious activities across apps, automations, agents, and data operations. Unusual spikes in activity, a typical CRUD operations, or unusual access patterns are flagged so organizations can take actions proactively before a small irregularity becomes a larger incident. Threat detection is also tied to automated response workflows. Using Sentinel analytics rules or Power Platform governance policies, you can automatically trigger remediation steps, such as disabling a user, revoking sessions, alerting your SOC teams, or blocking further actions, helping your organization react in minutes instead of hours. And finally, all activity across Power Platform, including Dataverse operations, app interactions, environment-level actions, and administrative changes is fully logged through Purview and Dataverse auditing. This gives you completely visibility, auditability, and the forensic trail you need for investigations, compliance, and governance. Together, these capabilities form a comprehensive threat detection layer that keeps your data, users, and environment safe, even as workloads scale and agent-based automation becomes more prevalent. Dataverse provides comprehensive data protection and privacy controls to safeguard sensitive business information. Only authorized users can access this business data. Enterprises operate under strict regulatory and internal compliance requirements. Dataverse addresses these needs with a multi-layer approach. First, data residency and segregation ensure your organization data stays within the correct geographic boundaries and is isolated so that the environments remain securely partitioned. Next, IP-allowed listing and firewalls give administrators full control over where traffic can originate. Only trusted networks are permitted, reducing the risk of unwanted access from unknown or high-risk locations. Dataverse also supports data policies that restrict inbound and outbound data flows, preventing accidental exposure of governing how data moves between connectors, apps, tenants, and environments. This helps enforce enterprise-grade guardrails around data sharing and integration. On the privacy side, data encryption protects information both at rest and in transit, ensuring that if data is intercepted or accessed improperly, it remains unreadable. Organizations can also deploy virtual networks and private network paths to further isolate traffic and add another boundary of protection. For governance and oversight, Microsoft Purview supports data discovery, classification, and labeling across Dataverse, helping organizations automatically identify sensitive records and apply appropriate controls. When elevated access is required, Customer Logbox adds a final approval layer, ensuring Microsoft engineers can only access your data when you explicitly authorize it. To safeguard operational scenarios, Dataverse includes data masking to hide sensitive fields from unauthorized users, and IP-based cookie binding to prevent session hijacking by enforcing that a session token cannot be reused from an unexpected location. Together, these capabilities give organizations a full spectrum of protection, controlling where data lives, who can see it, how it flows, and when it can be used, ensuring that both compliance and privacy standards are consistently met across all applications and agent workflows powered by Dataverse. Now, let's look at how agent identity works and why it is a critical part of securing AI-driven automation across the Power Platform. With Agent 365, every autonomous agent receives its own Microsoft Entra ID, not a shared identity and not a user identity. This is important because it ensures that the agent is treated as a first-class security principal inside your tenant, just like any other application or service accounts. Because the agent has its own identity, we can apply the principle of least privilege access. Agent is mapped to its Dataverse agentic user and is granted only the specific security roles and permissions it needs to perform its tasks. Nothing more. This prevents agents from overreaching into data or operations that they should not have access to. And just like human users, all agent activities are fully audited. Every read, update, or action that the agent takes is logged through Dataverse auditing and surfaced in your governance tools. This gives IT complete visibility into how AI-powered automations operate inside the environment and ensures compliance, traceability, and accountability. Together, these capabilities allows organizations to confidently adopt agent-driven automation, knowing that each agent is authenticated, tightly permissioned, and fully observable, giving enterprises the same security and governance controls they expect for human users. Let's bring all this together. Dataverse is built as an enterprise-grade, secure, and compliant data platform. And everything we covered, network security, access control, threat detection, data protection and privacy, and agent identity, works together to protect sensitive business and operational data across every app, automation, and agent. And the best part is, you don't manage these controls in 20 different places. All the security and compliance measures we have discussed are centrally governed through the Security Hub in the Power Platform Admin Center. From one place, admins can assess security posture, set guardrails, manage conditional access integrations, restrict sensitive operations, configure network isolation, enforce data loss prevention, and monitor activity across environments. Now back to you, Manas.
Thank you, Paul. So you got the full picture of what Dataverse is and what makes it hyperscale with modern generation AI capabilities. Do leverage Dataverse in your organization and let us know how it goes. Thank you.